Hello, this is Goto. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Interactions Remastered, where I didn't finish my freaking since last time list. Um, today, go over my since last time list and then tell you what we're actually doing. So since last time, since it's here in front of my face, we have done. I had to fix something at Diesel over here. Oh yeah, I wasn't actually putting fuel into this combustion generator, and then I found out this nitro infused diesel actually does not burn. So it says over here that combustion generator basic is listed for it, but it cannot actually burn in combustion generator basic. It needs MV at minimum. So what I ended up doing is taking one of my old MV combustion generators, and then I put it in a transformer over here, and then I put that into a diode which limits it to 2 amps because if you remember, we still have our methane turbine over here burning the excess methane. So that makes it so that that circuit over there gets 3 amps maximum, which should be okay for the cable. And that was the fix that I did over there. Other thing I did was look at my list to remember. I did end up changing this setup with this chemical reactor. I had a chassis set up here before, but like it was getting clogged a lot because it wasn't in a blocking mode. So I just set this up to be able to catch multiple fluids. I guess it doesn't really matter here because the chemical reactor has multiple fluids in it already, but now it's a little bit more like a bigger storage for the fluids, especially when I do big crafts. And then B, have a blocking mode enabled here so that like I don't get plastic sheets and then PVC sheets in there at the same time, and then it just breaks everything, right? Oh, in fact, let me hang on, bookmark something before I forget. Plastic board. Let me bookmark this guy, and I'll show you why in a second. But down here, let's talk about the last thing I did. I did polyethylene, not polyethylene, polytetrafluoroethylene. So over here, that just ended up being the setup. Ended up being a lot less complicated than tetranitromethane from elements from base elements. I was actually looking at the quest book here, and we do tetranitromethane, but they do it with ethanone acetone from charcoal products using a what's it called? This is from the Pyrolise oven, I believe. But anyways, so yeah, that's this is it done. So this takes hydrochloric acid and carbon to make chloroform. This one uses hydrogen and fluorine to make hydrofluoric acid. And you might be wondering, hey, where are you getting fluorine? Well, that's the thing. I'm not getting fluorine at the moment. As you can see, our fluorine tank here is very empty. But I did get a bunch from um, I went to the electrolyzer, and you remember how we set up that electrolyzer last time? I got a bunch from, where is it? Topaz dust and blue topaz dust. So I had a bunch of those dust laying around. In fact, I still have some dust. Let me go process those really quick, maybe. Topaz. Nope, we do not have any more topaz dust. If I wanted to, though, I could take. Oh, I just remembered something. Right now, it is April Fool's. It is April 1st today, and yeah, BOGO inventory sorter decided that when I sorted inventory, it's going to play a random sound effect.
Be prepared to die.
Oh, okay. Anyways, uh, so I'm gonna set some blue topaz here to go, and uh, that should automatically process the what's it called over here? Yeah, blue topaz and topaz is set up to go over here. And tell you what, let me also do this over here. I know we haven't really used this space too much, but I might as well like hook it up and do some stuff with it. So basic pipe to bridge over there. Let's get some unrouted pipes. Let's get some chassis. Um, let's get 2 chassis pipes. We're missing fine copper wire. Excuse me. Oh. I requested 10 chassis pipes on accident. That's my bad. Why are we missing fine copper wire, though? Like, are we not? Did I never make a recipe for that? I guess not. Fine copper wire is used in these, which we're not making anymore. We're not making those. Yeah, we're not making any of that. I mean, maybe we'll make this one day. Definitely not making those. We do not make this yet, but... Oh yeah, we will be making that. Okay, that's probably where we're missing it from. We're missing it from microprocessors. Grab this. Copper wire. Copper ingot. And just plop it up in our wire mill 3. Okay. Anyways, really quickly, just gonna set up a quick and dirty something over here. Provider module, not provider pipe. Actually, provider pipe. No, we don't need the pipe. I'm like flailing here. Provider module. Item sync. This is actually what I need. Okay. So I want to hook one up here, and then I want to hook one up here. And let me get a basic pipe for that connection as well. Let me go ahead and branch this over there. Oops. Didn't mean to stick that one in the ceiling there. Alright. And this is connected, and what am I doing with this? Well, I'm going to tell it to automatically send topaz over here. So we're doing blue topaz. So I could be having it crush up this downstairs, but like that would be messing with my filters too much. So I'm just going to have it manually summon these topazes up here if I process any more. Where's that one? Okay. And then this is, it is set to the correct chest. The little orange dot indicates what chest it's pointing at there. This one's going to provide those dusts to our system. And we also have some dust. I took some machines from here and I stuck them in our arc furnace. That's called arc furnace recycling. So like if I look at random, like this extractor, for example, there's a page called arc furnace recycling, and if you put it in an arc furnace, you get all this stuff back. Yay! So I got rid of most of my machines that I didn't think I would be using again in the future. I kept some just because we might use them for some low voltage setup, but... Oh, hey, look at that. We got some topaz, and it's making some topaz, and then... Oh, wait, this needs to be provider, but I also need a quick sort there. Okay, 1 second. Quick sort. And quick sort is going to send those blue topaz away to the place they belong. So if we go over here, here they come. Whee! And then the smart filter is going to put them into the electrolyzer in correct increments of 13. And there, we're going to have some fluorine coming in. And also there's some topaz, because topaz is a byproduct of blue topaz. So that's how we got our fluorine. I'm still working on our fluorine chicken over here. We need to do some magic stuff, but that's probably what we're going to focus today on after we do our vacuum freezer, which is order of business number 1. Since we got polytetrafluoroethylene, I was able to make these atomic alloys. And we're able to make a vacuum freezer. So here we go. Vacuum freezer. Of course I need to make these. Be right back while I craft up a handful of some of these. Okay, that's all done. We can make our vacuum freezer now, and I made enough frost-proof machine casings that should cover us for the entire machine. Oh, and we're also going to need to power it too, huh? Since it's a multi-block, we need to use the energy input hatches. Let's look to see what kind of hatches we have access to right now. Energy input. So can we make this? Yeah, honestly, I don't see why not. And we can also throw one of these on our, or 4 of these on our EBFs and upgrade our EBFs to to EV tier power, because I believe nichrome is our next tier of coils. Yeah, nichrome coil blocks. And in order to make them, I think we need our vacuum freezer HV. We do indeed. So let's just go ahead and do HV machine hatches, or energy hatches, I mean. Oh, and I totally forgot about this recipe. I had bookmarked it, and then I just kind of like left it sitting up there. Let's do a quick recipe card for PTFE sheets. So I'm going to need one of these, and then I'm going to need a fluid crafting card. And throw this in here with a fluid crafting card. The fluid satellite is the plate solidifier. And then we want polytetrafluoroethylene. And then we need 144 of it. And that makes one sheet. PTFE sheet. Bloop. Okay. So now PTFE sheet should request. Just make sure this is working correctly. Here comes the fluid. There goes the sheet. All right. Done. We can quest complete and take 16 more. And we can also get a gourmet venison burger. Why not? Even though our hunger was like nowhere near being depleted. All right, here's our vacuum freezer also. And then some machine casings for that. Ooh, another reinforced large drum reward. I'll just leave it there for the moment. Where was that? Where was that thing I just saw? What did I just make? The vacuum freezer. That would be in this chapter. Okay. Here's the vacuum freezer quest. Oh, okay, it wants us to get all of the inputs here. It wants an input hatch too, which is kind of odd. Normally you don't need to use the vacuum freezer for cooling liquids, but I guess we will do it in the future probably. Input bus, an output bus, and then output and input hatch. Okay, so we'll need all of the kind of standard stuff. And then, as far as how many blocks this needs 14 frostproof machine casings, and then everything else just kind of be wherever all over it. Okay, so let's do the energy hatches as well. Energy hatch. And we're probably going to be using a lot of HV energy hatches if I'm to guess, so let's figure out how we can get some potassium sodium. This doesn't look too bad to make. We don't have a whole lot of potassium though, but do I want to make all of it into potassium sodium right now? Let's just make what we need. So I know I'm going to need to make 5 hatches, so let's get potassium, 5 of those. And then let me go down here, grab 5 sodium. Those are just going to go in a chemical reactor, I think it was. Yep. Just in a chemical reactor. And, oh, I forgot to go over here. The whole reason I did polytetrafluoroethylene sheets is so I can go to this recipe. And we can put PTFE sheet here instead of PVC sheet. And then we can double this to 4 plastic circuit boards. So that that makes our sulfuric acid and copper get twice as much bang for our buck. And then it also is going to be twice as fast, right? Where's our chemical reactor again? Oh, I'm looking at the bar. I'm like, I don't see a chemical reactor in these options. Yeah, so it's the same time, but makes double the products now, so that's pretty great. Okay, I don't know why I bookmarked these things. I must have bookmarked them on accident. HV machine, not machine, energy hatch. Let me bookmark this so I can stop forgetting what I am actually doing here. So we're making 5 of them. So HP machine holes, 5 of those, please. 10 gold cables, please. And then L-pick. This is a low power integrated circuit. So to make we need an orange lens. Great. We can't actually make an orange. Let's see. This is called crafting lens orange. Crafting lens orange. Yeah, we can't actually make like one out of topaz for some reason. So we need to make some chemical orange dye. Means we need some sulfuric acid. Okay. And then some orange dye of some kind. We can just use orange tulip. That works. And then 2 pieces of salt. So let me go down here, grab a... Oh, this can't support acids. That's right. So we need a glass beaker, glass vial. While I'm here, I might as well request the 2 pieces of salt we're going to need. Alright. And our flour should be in our table. Craft that into an orange dye, and then stick all of this into our chemical reactor, I think it was. Yep, and then I don't really care about the sulfuric acid, so I'm just going to dump it. And we're going to grab our knack here. Grab our orange dye, and then, whoops. Oh, we need something to pick up this distilled water, huh? Honestly, we can probably just flush it with a plunger. Whoop, not the mallet, the plunger. There we go. And then let me get the lens that we're going to be dyeing. Okay, so here is our lens. Next, we need some wafers. And then, what else do we use these L-picks for? Transformers? That appears to be it. Okay, so let's grab our orange lens, stick it in here. We can put our green lens away in storage. All right. And I'm just going to go ahead and accelerate this, drain the battery. Drain the battery for what it's worth. All right, and that's it. We get 4 wafers out of that entire battery. We'll go over there, pick up the rest later. Oops, I sped that up too much. Do we have a battery over here somewhere? Here we go. I should make more of these energium crystals and just put them in more of my machines that I frequently accelerate, because they hold a lot of power. 10 minutes worth of power. Like, look at that, even though max accelerated that, it barely drained it. Alright, so we got enough L-pick wafers to do what we need. Now we need high voltage coils. So this is going to do fine black steel. Can we make black steel ingots? No, we're going to have to make those too, huh? Okay. So black steel ingots are going to be an EBF recipe. Yep, it sure is. Okay. Time to go down and do another EBF addition. So we're going to go right here, toss this in there. And this is going to EBF fluid. Was it nitrogen? Nitrogen, yes. Alright, and this does 1 black steel ingot from 1 black steel dust. And that's that. Trying to remember what I was doing. Black steel. So these each need 2, so let's get just 10 ingots for now. This is going to take, like, I don't know, a few minutes to craft up, so maybe we can work on something else in the meantime, or I can take a bite of my food. Yeah, this is gonna take like 2.5, 3 minutes to be done. Alright, finish chewing what I threw in my mouth for some reason. Um, is there anything else we need? I don't think there is anything else we need, so I can just go ahead throw our sodium potassium in here. With those, we're going to need some magnetic steel rods. Okay. Go ahead and cook up 5 of those. All of these things are just going to take a few minutes to make, so I might as well hold. Nichrome. I guess we can work on some nichrome really quick. So nichrome dust is what we're going to need to actually make here. This doesn't actually look like that bad of a recipe for the mixer. Let's go ahead and make a mixer recipe for nichrome dust. So this makes 5 with 4 nickel and 1 chrome. Nickel dust, and then a chrome dust. 4 nickel, right? Yep. And this needs circuit 2. Uh-oh, our chassis pipe here is full. Let's go and get a better chassis. This one should be good. Okay, go over here. These don't have any upgrades on them. There was a disconnection upgrade I saw. Put that back in there. Trying to get out of here. Where did I put nichrome? It is in here, right? Watch it be the first one. Okay, yep, it's at the top. Good job, me. So how much nichrome do we need? I think it was like 144 because we need 2 EBFs worth, which is 16. So 16 times 2, but then they share 6, and then we get 8 from a quest. So we need 18, and each one costs 8. So yeah, 144 nichrome. Let's just do like 3 stacks of nichrome. I don't know why when I calculated it if I was going to just do 3 stacks anyways. And this needs to be on circuit 2. Yep, okay. That is mixing up. That's going to take a while. Our black steel is done. Let's go and turn it into some fine wires. Then with our magnetic rods, I like how the little plus from the magnetic and the minus from the magnetic part of it is just kind of like floating in midair. Those go in there, and then I need to get my wires, which are done. Wait, are the wires done? Yeah, the wires were done, okay. I'm hearing the mixer over there. I thought I was still hearing the machine running. Just the mixer. We can speed this up a bit. Where's my... Give me my energy crystal back. Alright, so that's going to be everything we need, I think. So now we should be able to put everything into the assembler machine and get our energy hatches. What's missing? Oh, the gold. Whoops. Gold cables. There we go. I don't know why we're accelerating this, seeing as we can't even, like, really use it immediately anyways. Nichrome to cook takes... Where's nichrome? Nichrome takes EV power, correct? Yeah, we need EV power for this. So, I guess while we are waiting for this to process over here... Oh, great. We also have an energy converter down here. Gonna need a second to figure this out. I guess we're gonna swap these generators. Let's also make a transformer. So let's make a transformer. I'm gonna make a transformer so that we can just use the MV combustion generators on our vacuum freezer, but they need to be upgraded to HV voltage. Or you know what? I think, never mind. Let's just use we're gonna be taking the MV energy hatches off of this guy, so let's just use those MV energy hatches. Then we can like worry about one thing less. But we are gonna need combustion generators for our EBFs, turbo combustion generators for HV power times 8. Which is a big reason why I upgraded power in the last couple episodes, because we were going to be struggling with power just running regular diesel. Don't think we're going to run any more recipes, so let me go ahead and take these guys out. And I already have, what's it called, Signalum cable installed down here. I don't know if you know this, but Signalum cable is an 8 amp cable, max amperage of 8. But even though even though it's a 512 max voltage cable, that doesn't mean you can't run lower voltage through it. So I was just using it for MV voltage, and like, why not? Okay, I'm going to pick up the drum for a second with fuel. Then I'm going to get a bigger cell for the rest of the fuel. Let's see, we have a request here. Let's get a cell. I'm just gonna pick up all of the all of the fuel in all of the cells so that we don't waste a ton of fuel. How's our oil, by the way? Oil's good. I might actually be tempted to go ahead and put a bigger buffer down here. Yeah, why don't I go ahead and do that as well? So I know we have a couple options. We have a super tank from one of our quests, right? Not a super tank, quantum tank. Quantum tank. So this holds 128,000 buckets. Compact place to store all your fluids. My question is, if we pick it up, does it lose its fluids? So let me try testing that really quick with our quantum tank. Just, chuck some carbon dioxide. I think I had it over here. Yeah, I was using it like to hold fluids and then enchanting a couple of my cells. So this has carbon dioxide in it, and still has carbon dioxide in it. Okay, awesome. And then if we do that, this will destroy all contents. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's put this for our storage instead of these drums here. So this can just kind of run for a very long time. Unfortunately, we cannot empty these drums into there. Let me see how I want to handle that. Get a fluid conduit, I guess. Ender fluid conduit. 16. This one is fine to keep. Actually, I will empty the smaller one. Oh wait, they both are very full. Okay, well. In that case, we're just gonna empty this one. Don't do anything into the oil drum. Please extract from here and put in there. Ah, yes, you love to see it. Is this buckets? No, this is showing millibuckets here. Excess fluid voiding. That would be like a useful feature, actually. If we had these over in our fluid storage area, since they have this fluid voiding thing built into them, I really could just like not have that secondary pipe above it going into the trash can. What are our options for these quantum tanks? Not quantum. Well, quantum is this tier. Super tank is the tier before. Hermetic casing needs polyethylene pipe. We might do that at some point. Just change all of these instead of using the double setup with the double tanks here. Because right now I have this, let me grab this tank over here. I'm using the Signalum tank, with Holding 7 enchantment, and it's the Signalum tier, and it holds 1.4 thousand buckets. And the lowest tank of super tanks, the LV one, holds 4,000 buckets. So it's kind of like, that's kind of a significantly bigger buffer. So maybe we should have been using those from the get-go. Oh well, though. We have what we have, I guess. We currently have 90 buckets of nitro diesel. All right, let's go up here. We need to pull out all of our nitro diesel here. I think we just pulled out all of the pipe contents there. One thing I should probably check is that our, what's it called over here, is actually crafting up turbo combustion generators. What are you crafting? Do we need stainless steel? No, we don't need... If we don't need stainless steel, we're okay on this. Everything else here is just doing stuff up here. What is it doing, though? I'm a little confused. Why... Uh-oh, I had a program circuit in here. That didn't break something, did it? Gold cable is waiting. Okay, it's just like... It's just doing the silver wires right now. So if I go over here, I bet I'm going to see the wire mill is busy. Yep, the wire mill is busy. Alright, that's the issue. Alright, panic averted. Let us continue taking this apart. And go ahead. I can't just, like, use the cell on this, can I? No, I gotta manually click it into the slot here. Oh, the cell is full. I'm like, hello? Why is it not coming out of there? Alright, we're going to need to remove this as well, because this is that's gonna break if we try to put HV power into it. Alright, grab our 4 energy input hatches. Get our 5 new ones. Wait, where are our... Oh, they're in our inventory. Damn, I'm like... I am scatterbrained right now. Alright, put one just floating in the air over there. That's going to do a lot for us. Kudos to our Armara, or not Armara, our Visio reach length for helping us put our... what's it called? Those hatches in. And then combustion generators are still on the way. I guess I'll start putting in what we have. What is the holdup down here? Is it still this thing? Oh great, I used all of the rubber in there. Alright, well it should be more or less done. What are you making over here? Oh, it's making sulfur and carbon. Okay, that's fine. Alright, there's our combustion generators. And go ahead and install these guys. Gonna install them 2 at a time so I can wrench them in the correct orientation. Up and up. And then 2 more. And then up and up. Looks like I can actually access them from on top, so we don't need to worry about that. So up, 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 up. Alright, that's it. We are now having EBF able to do HV power. Incredible, right? And hook this back up. That's going to provide fuel to all of the generators over here. Because we have a quantum tank over here now, I can just dump these back in here. I don't need to find a weird place to put them. Alright. Great. Love to see it. I guess there is one question of, hey, if we change this to a super tank, what does the parameters of reading the tank look like off of the integrated dynamics? Is it still the same? So maybe let's do this actually. Like that would be kind of interesting to see. Um, Super tank. I would like to be able to craft these in mass if I'm going to be going with these. But what do we need to make them? We need the hermetic casing, which needs a large polyethylene pipe, which needs an extruder we don't have. But if we are just crafting these kind of here and there, let's just craft like, I don't know, let's just get enough for like 20 of them. And I'm just going to yeah, that's the correct number. I was like, wait a second. So get enough of these guys to manually turn into polyethylene, and I'm just going to temporarily chisel this guy into it was a large pipe, right? Large pipe, yes. And this is a pretty quick recipe, so we can also speed it up by 2 ticks, so very quickly make all of these 20 pipes. Alright. Put this back to the ring mold. Okay, so we have those hermetic casings. The rest of these I'll put down in crafting tables. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, I totally also forgot that we need to get around this corner here. Can we pick these up and move them? I think I'm gonna pick these up and move them, to be honest. I don't want to go this far over with pipes and stuff, so let me just clear some space over here really quick. Alright, looking good. I'm just gonna scoot these over here. And then, let's see. I don't think I want to pick up the pipes with the dolly. That's probably going to break them. So, pop those over there. We're going to have this weird corner with nothing on it, but that's fine. I'm going to move this request pipe here, and then I'm going to request some unrouted pipes to get around the corner. And then we are going to use 2 tables right now to make the 2 things that we need for this super tank. So let's get some hermetic casing. How much are these? I'm looking at the next tiers up. Oh, hold on. This needs field generators. Manganese phosphide. What? Maybe let's not do that one. Honestly, 4,000 buckets seems like plenty at the moment, so I am inclined to just say, let's just do the LV ones. So most likely for that, and then for you, we need the hermetic casings. Okay. Import, 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 import. Oh, and here we need to take out the programmers. Okay. Let me put this little section at the top. There we go. So it's a little bit more open to walk by. All right, let's make a super tank now. Super. And I think we have most of the ingredients for that just like sitting around. Like I think it needs to make the rotor and the pipe for the pump, and then otherwise it should just like have everything it needs for that ready to go. Oh, I should probably get our nichrome cooking while we're doing all this stuff. So here's our nichrome dust. This does cook faster with nitrogen, so let's set up a recipe card again. Apologies for crunching if you can hear that. Okay. Fluid crafting card. Toss this in here. Wait a second, where did this come from? This is from the mixer. Put that back. Get a fresh card, please. All right. nichrome. I'm just gonna have it make hot nichrome because cooling it off manually and then bringing it back has been a little annoying. Put our fluid crafting upgrade in here, and it was EBF fluid 1000 nitrogen. And should be able to just go ahead and order up those nichromes. Uh, 3 stacks of nichrome? Sure. And then like 3 more, because we have 3 extra ingots. Or 3 extra dust. Alright. Many hot nichrome ingots coming right up. Let's make sure our EBF runs. It does run, and it is using power like nobody ever asked. Look at that. 1920 EU per tick. And we've got 2 of them running. And these are now using power. How much is this using? Like 4 millibuckets per tick? Let me stop inserting on this for a second. Oh, it's using 8 millibuckets per operation here. That's fine, though. Like, that, honestly, that does not seem very fast. I guess we'll see, like, how quickly this tank drains, right, over time. Alright. Nichrome's cooking up. What were we doing with this stuff in my inventory? So this is going to be for our vacuum freezer. I could go ahead and build the vacuum freezer. Yeah, why don't I go ahead and do that? Let's just make a spot for it, like, over here next to the EBFs. And I'm just going to punch a hole in the wall right there. And then I think I'm going to just leverage this same power line. Or the same fuel line, rather, for the, what's it called over here? For the vacuum freezer. Whoops, those are the energy hatches. Also, let me put away my drill, my big drill, before I make a horrible disaster somewhere. Alright, let's get some... These are just pressurized fluid conduits? Okay. Pressurized fluid conduits. Oh, we have 4. Perfect. Okay. Hook these guys up. And we need to be careful to not accidentally wire those together. So let's get some mana steel. We're gonna need 6 now that I did some spatial thinking in my head. So these are going to come like this. Those are gonna face up. Actually, these are all gonna face up. Oops, I think I just turned the energy hatch here. Uh-oh. Here, turn it back. Okay. So very carefully connect these without messing with the HV wires over there. These all need to be facing up, though, so whoop, doop, doop, doop. Okay. And very carefully... Just the wire cutters. There they are. Very carefully connect these guys. Okay. That's all connected. Wait, no, that is not all connected. Now it's all connected. Okay. Connections on all points, and then all 6 segments are connected. Yep, perfect. Okay, so the power supply of our vacuum freezer is ready to go. Can't say the rest for the whole vacuum freezer, but yeah. Okay then, moving on. Vacuum freezer. Let's go ahead and stick it in there. Ooh, we completed a big quest, huh? So because our energy hatches are over there, our vacuum freezer is going to be right here in the middle. I believe this is a hollow multi-block. Vacuum freezer, please show me the... Second layer, yep, it is hollow in the middle. So the machine-proof casings are just going to go all around it, and then we're going to need an input, and output hatch, and bus all over it. So let's get some input and output hatches and buses. I think just LB tier is fine. So let's get some LB holes. And then how do we make hatches and buses again? I remember the bus is like a regular chest. What is the hatch? Hatch is a piece of glass. Okay. So let's get 2 pieces of glass, and then 2 chests. And then we are also going to need one piece of polyethylene for each of them. Yeah, 144 polyethylene. I'm just going to, instead of running down and like doing a whole bunch of rigmarole with moving the plastic around, I'm just going to melt some here. Yeah, just like that. Like, it happened very fast. Alright, let's do glass and chest first. We're on circuit 1. So there's our input bus and hatch, and then let's do the circuit 2 for the output bus and output hatch. Alright, and then clear the circuit. Boom. Quest complete. That was easy, right? Get some chocolate ice cream. Sure, go in storage. Bye-bye. Blizz powder is alright. And then let's take all our frostproof machine casing. Let's go put it together. I'm not sure how exactly I want this put together yet. I think for now, though, since these tiles are going to be inaccessible, let's just put those to be the frostproof machine casings. And these are kind of obstructed, so let's block those in. Alright, so these are going to be the tiles where if we want to put anything, this is where we're going to put it. Let's do fluid input, fluid output, and then output, and then input. And then finish off this side of the multi-block, and it should be completed. Hey, structure found, and it is idling. Nice. Okay. Now we can start cooling down our ingots. Oh, there's chrome up here. I'll take that. So we got some hot ingots. I feel like there's a way we can automatically send the ingots into... what's it called? Into here. Let me see if that's a module on a chassis. So we have a chassis. There's not really an easy way up here, is there? Okay, just skirt the edge there. Why have I done this? Why did I put the output next to the output and then the input next to the input? Hold on, this is gonna drive me crazy. So these are inputs, output, output. There we go. That's how I meant to have it. The fluids next to each other and the items next to each other. I didn't mean to have it crisscrossed. Okay, so the output bus. On the input bus, what are our options with cards? So we can do a mod-based item sync or dictionary item sync. Let's see what or dictionary item sync can do for us. Can we like do a filtering? Let's do hot ingot hot and with a $sign. Okay, there we go. Looks like we can hard code specify the ingot hots, which I don't know. This is like the greatest thing. Maybe not, perhaps. Hmm. What other kind of OR dictionary based setups could we use? OR dictionary type module. Yeah, I don't know. I do want to have this like having items go to it automatically in some way, but I don't necessarily want to hard code specify each item that goes over there. I mean, here's one way we could do it with the OR dictionary filter, right? Yeah, how about let's do this. Check this out, okay? So let's do an OR dictionary filter, which apparently we don't have any of. I thought we had extras, but I guess not. So waiting for that to come up. I think I need to make the zinc foils. Then we're going to use some item conduits. Don't need to be like conservative with these. So on the top, I really need like a better way to get up here. Just put this here temporarily. Can I like jump up here? Oh, nope, I'm stuck. Okay. I'm gonna swap these in second thought. So input, output, input, output. Okay, so that the items are closer to the blast furnace over here. We are going to pull the items out from over here, except on this actual input bus, I'm going to specify filter insert to ingot hot. So if I do ingot hot, that's going to be all of these, so it should... Oh, I had the $sign on accident. There we go. There we go. That's working, and there's no ingot hot that is not a hot ingot. So that's automatically going to take any hot ingots out of that chest. And then let's send them back. We're going to extract on blue. You're going to insert on blue. You're going to extract on brown, and you're going to insert on brown. You're not going to extract, and you're not going to insert. Okay. So now it should automatically steal. And hold up, actually, I'm going to change this temporarily because I don't want it to do it while nichrome is running. We've already told the EBF that it's making hot nichrome ingots, so I don't want to like mess with what it's doing. But what should happen is that it's going to put a hot ingot in there, right? And then instead of being like, oh, the hot ingot is now sitting in here, you need to cool it and then bring it back, it's going to take it away, cool it, and bring it back, and then it'll be like, oh, the ingot is complete. So now we can come over here, we can change our nichrome. It's okay to change this card because the recipe's already been requested, so it's not going to like change what it's doing mid-run. All right, so now, or I guess when we request it in the future, what it's going to do is it's going to drop it in here. I guess we could request a Canthal to test it, right? Do we have Canthal dust? Yeah, so check this out. We have 4 Canthal ingots, so I'm going to request 5, so it's going to go craft a new one. Let me go in here really quick. Oh gosh, there's a lot of stuff blocking access here. Trying to get to this input bus. Okay. Let me let this Canthal process. It's going to need a second here. I'll come back in like 30 seconds once this is done ticking over. All right. The nichrome that's currently in here is about to be done. So there it goes doing the Canthal. So the Canthal should make a hot ingot. Hot ingot should go over here and get automatically cooled down. And then it should come back and then get sent to the table. So here we go. Oh, that's right. I did not have it inserting over here. Insert on brown. All right, there it goes. There's our Canthal ingot. And then it should kick it back. And then we should have our Canthal ingot up here. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that works as expected. Let's put our nichrome back in here. All right, cool. Nichrome is cooking up, continuing to cook up now. Oh, but I do, once again, I do not want it extracting it, so I'm just going to turn that extract off because I already have it ordering the hot ingots, so I don't want it to get confused about what is crafting, where it's crafting, etc. What else do we need for our nichrome coils? So we're making like 18 of these, right? Stainless steel foil. Okay, so we're gonna need stainless steel foil. So to get 144, it's just gonna be like 18, right? I mean, that was close, 36. So 36 stainless steel coils, ingots, I mean. Put those in the foil maker. Loop. Okay, and then we are going to also need a liquid aluminum. And this is going to need 2592 divided by 144. That's 18 ingots of aluminum. So 18 of these guys. All right. This is set to output on the right. Yes. Okay. And then this uses no circuit. Okay. So all we need to do is cool down our nichrome, which I can actually go ahead and start doing now. Nichrome. I can spell it correctly. We have 54 ready to go. We have 2 more ready to go that just came up. Let me put my mitt on so it doesn't burn me, but I think it might burn me anyways. Nope. It seems to protect me. Alright, here's our input bus. So that is not going to automatically kick it out to my storage because we haven't requested cooked ingots. We've only requested the hot ingots. So those are just going to sit in there. But it should be good otherwise. Okay, well, I think that's going to be a good stopping point for this episode. Next time, these coils will be all upgraded because all I have to do is take those nichrome ingots out. And I have to take the nichrome ingots out and stick them into the, what's it called over there? Assembly machine? No, I have to turn them into the wires first and then stick them in here. And then as soon as that's done, I'll have my new coils ready to go. And I'll show that off next time. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!